Rise, rise, my pretties, my creatures from the black legume. I forget who suggested that on Twitter, but thank you very much. That is a great name for our fans, Creatures from the Black Legume. Look it up! Anyway, another week of news, another opportunity to joke about said news. I'm already dissecting it too much, but this is the update up top with your small beans news for the week. First and foremost, this script was erased due to a technical error, which is why it's coming out at 8 p.m. or so, even later probably after I edit it, rather than midnight on Tuesday. And again, that's the kind of disruption you can expect from tiny little small beans who are just minding their business and don't know what hurdles are gonna, crop up. Farming joke. Okay, but that's repaired, and I rewrote the script, and I made it better, I think, so you're getting a double polished episode of Extree this week, which we will get to soon. I wanted to thank our fabulous patrons and, of course, everyone who listens to the content, but especially our patrons, and let them know what their money is being used for. Hey, all y'all, I have ordered a brand new preamp, which has up to 6 lines in rather than the 2 I have now. I have also ordered an extra mic, which will give us a grand total of 3 for now. And 4 mic stands, because I'm optimistic like that, and I expect us to own a 4th mic in due course. So what this means for everyone is that very soon our shows will not be limited to 2 voices. So you can expect Greg Burke to show up on the video game podcast. You can expect all our pals to show up, whatever makes most sense for them. I guess I'm just going to mention Greg. But you know who I'm talking about, the people you see me pal around with for 10 years. We're finally going to start to get to talk to them again, because now there's a hole for them to talk at. I want to shout out especially and give a big thanks to Paige Williams, who graciously sent us a bunch of free equipment. Hi, Paige. It has arrived. Thank you so much. We're working on integrating it into our system. But gosh, that's a really big help. And others have also offered us free equipment. That's so cool. I will name you in episodes to come. But Paige, your stuff arrived, and you're awesome. We lost a lot of patrons this week. I chalk it up to the people who wanted to only donate once, and then when the first of the year came, they dropped off, and that's great. We hope you will earn your donation again in future months, but just solely because this is my love and my life, and I want to keep doing it, I will pause to plead with you. Get the word out if you can. If you can afford it, please patronize us. And on that note, I want to talk about something I'll mention several times coming up because I want to get the word out, and I want to get your feedback. We're considering switching our Patreon model. Right now, honestly, because I clicked the wrong button when I was setting it up because I didn't understand how Patreon works, it says on the front page that if you patronize us and join the Cool Beans Club, you will have access to bonus secret premium content, which is something we definitely want to do, and content that we're finally starting to develop. So that's going to start coming out soon. That said, I clicked the wrong button, so right now there's no way for us to post something that's behind a paywall. Everything's free and purely donation-based, as if we were performing sketches on the street with an open guitar case, and that's wonderful. And it's even more touching that so many of you have reached out and said, hey, I'll pay just to know that you guys can keep doing this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. At the same time, we are worried about the patron drop-off because we have big plans and they require budgets, and we have rents, and we live in LA. So we're considering going in there and switching the button, which would mean people who have donated less than $5, unless we lower the Cool Beans bar to $3, which we might do, but even still, the kind people who donated $1, you would not have access to premium content unless you upped your donation to $3 or $5, wherever we land. So please give me feedback on that. Obviously, I know people are going to say, well, I donated $1. I don't want you to do that. But I feel like some people will say, well, I donated $10 a month, and it would be cool to feel like my donation is valuable in the sense that I have access to extra bonus content, which was always the plan from the beginning. But now that I clicked the wrong button and we're 3 weeks in, I feel like a fucking asshole changing it. So if I'm a fucking asshole for changing it, let me know. And without further ado, let's check in with our boy, Jonny Papes. How you doing, Jonny? Please cheer us on up with the news of the week. Extree, extree, read all about it. Small Beans News, first to press, last to fact check. Read all about it, read all about it. Around the world, people are making resolutions they hope will change their lives for the better in the new year. This tradition dates all the way back to ancient Sumeria, when the next year being better was a feasible thing to hope for. In related news, Kim Jong-un has announced that he keeps his nuclear launch button on his desk at all times, and everything that tastes good makes you fat. Extree, extree. Though many publications take this time to provide year-end recap or list of the most notable stories of the past 12 months, we aren't going to do that. Extree, extree, read all about it. Police in Louisiana believe they have arrested a primary source of the infamous Nigerian prince spam emails. To pay for the cost of the trial, they've asked any who can to wire them money and say it will be returned tenfold once the trial concludes. You can send that money to Extree, extree, care of Jimmy Rocks. Although few fell for the scam, it still represented hundreds of thousands of stolen dollars each year. Authorities hope to get in touch with the Nigerian prince in question to rectify the situation. Said one officer, quote, "I'm sure this Nigerian guy will help refund some of the money. He is a prince, after all." Extree, extree. 2 cable installation specialists are being hailed as heroes after rescuing a naked toddler who wandered onto a road in freezing winter weather. One local resident is less pleased, however, saying, quote, "I was told to be home from 1 to 3 p.m. Where the hell were you?" Extree, extree. Reese Witherspoon, Meryl Streep, and many more powerful female figures are standing together to fight sexual harassment with the Time's Up movement. Time's Up is designed to flush out sexual predators and harassers in Hollywood and all industries. Some are calling the movement a controversial one that may upset the very balance of society, while others are calling it a thing we should have done like in 1250 or some shit. I mean, Jesus Christ, guys. Matt Damon has expressed concern over how few men have been allowed to chair the Time's Up movement and been told to shut right the hell on up if he wants to keep making millions of dollars playing shooty-shooty and jumping from things. Read all about it in Clarksville, a town made famous by the Monkees' hit Last Train to There. A gun store owner says people stole 31 guns from his shop on Christmas Day. When reached for comment, Santa's elves explained that they didn't want to do it, they were only following orders, and that, quote, "You motherfuckers better look out, the big man is pissed." Extree, extree. Police have shot an unarmed Los Angeles man as the result of a swatting prank by an online gamer. As the man was white, they're touting it as a triumph in community outreach, said the Wichita Sheriff's Department. "See? We shot this white guy and the officers are totally gonna get off, just like usual. The system works." Extree, extree. Read all about it. No one has died in a commercial airline crash in the entire calendar year 2017. Unfortunately, the same year represents a high watermark in number of people who wish they had died in an airline crash. Said one such citizen, quote, "It's like the plane's mocking me. I keep flying and it just keeps putting me right back down on the crappy Earth's surface." Extree, extree. Anthony Scaramucci, better known as the Mooch, has said, quote, "You might be surprised by Donald Trump's opinion on climate change." He went on to add, quote, "It's mostly stuff about moon men and Zionism peppered with grunts." Read all about it. As of January 1st, both the recreational use of marijuana and the act of jaywalking are legal in the state of California. Police have clarified that jaywalking does not mean smoking a vintage blunt as you saunter down the boulevard, but instead the one where totally sober people get hit by cars. The NAACP has hailed the decision and says it hopes this will mean reduced or overturned sentences for the many young black Americans unfairly jailed in our war on jaywalking. Extree, extree. Read all about it. Michael Wilson, a man whose Facebook photo is him holding 2 pistols, has been jailed for rigging a door in an attempt to electrocute his pregnant wife. When questioned, Wilson insisted he meant no harm and was in fact trying to give his child, quote, "wicked electro powers or maybe door powers of some kind." Authorities are still determining whether Wilson is too stupid to stand trial. Extree, extree. Get your news while it's still existentially panic-inducing. Read all about it. Puerto Rico has announced the beginning of tourism season and that they are still American citizens in case you hadn't noticed. They invite all fellow citizens to come enjoy their sun-drenched beaches, spend some money, and dump any extra Tesla cubes or loose turbines you might have packed along. The message arrived by carrier pigeon as half of the island still lacks power, including a factory that produces the majority of IV bags used in mainland hospitals. This has led to an acute shortage of the much-needed medical device, but no notable increase in aid to the people of Puerto Rico. Said one official, quote, "We think people will notice once the gun factory shuts down. We're almost sold out of bump stocks. In fact, do you need help? Should we come over there? Extree, extree. Read all about it. Group of locals reportedly compare how long it's been since each of them vomited. Realize it's accomplished nothing and they have boring conversations. Extree, extree. A fire has killed 24 horses in Stimsbury, Connecticut, even though no one wanted it to. In Sioux City, Iowa, vandals destroyed several beehives, killing 500,000 bees. In related news, McDonald's unveils new limited-time menu item, the Horse and Honey Charbroiled Bewitch. Come on in today and get bewitched. McHorsemeat, I'm loving it. Extree, extree. Meanwhile, a parking garage fire in the United Kingdom has destroyed 1,400 cars, 3 horses, and a bee. No one knows how this information was determined. Extree, extree. Read all about it. President Trump has said the ongoing investigation into his administration's potential collusion with Russia, quote, makes the U.S. look bad. Robert Mueller responded, "Oh, okay, we'll stop then. We wouldn't want to tarnish America's sterling reputation on the world stage. The orange bloated senile monster who rules us with a tiny lead fist then resumed his position as the face of America." Extree, extree. Dozens of swimmers took the Coney Island polar bear plunge this week, braving freezing cold waters and graciously helping feed the world's starving polar bears. Read all about it. Read all about it. A 16-year-old with the unformed brain and raging hormones of a 16-year-old has shot and killed his parents, sister, and a family friend at midnight on New Year's Eve. On New Year's Day, a 4-year-old with no understanding of what death is accidentally shot themselves and died. Shocking inability to keep guns out of the hands of people who shouldn't have them, or spooky New Year's curse. A correspondent in the field was going to get to the bottom of it, but they've been shot. Moving on. Extree, extree. All the news that's print to fit on a page, a newspaper page. It's a whole size thing, very technical. Forget I said anything. Read all about it. A man has found a suitable donor kidney after wearing a t-shirt asking for same on his trip to Disney World. Disney World has reported a notable uptick in the number of park visitors wearing shirts with outrageous demands. Of course, for the price of his ticket, he could have purchased several black market kidneys and a Kalashnikov, but the kidney recipient is grateful nonetheless. When asked what he'll do now, the lucky man yelled, "I'm going to Disneyland! I need a lung! My lust for organs will never be sated!" Extree, extree. Erica Garner, who became an activist following the murder of her father at the hands of NYPD officers, has died of an asthma-induced heart attack at age 27 and will be sorely missed, as well as airbrushed into future college dorm room posters of the 27 Club. NYPD officers choked her father Eric to death for selling loose cigarettes, while he repeatedly said, "I can't breathe." NYPD supporters famously wore black hoodies with the slogan, "I can breathe," in response to Eric's death, because even in a world where Star Wars is this goddamn important to everyone, somehow they can't tell who's the evil empire. Extree, extree. Turning to news, USA Today, one of the nation's leading publications, has run a headline that reads, "Yes, it's cold where you are, but climate change is still real." In related news, we're all fucked. Read all about it. Read all about it. 2 friends attending the same college have used DNA testing to discover that they are in fact long-lost brothers. Said the pair, quote, "No one can understand the sense of connection and joy we feel." In related news, 2 men who have been friends for over 60 years also discovered that they are long-lost brothers. Said the pair, quote, "Look, fuck those earlier brothers. Their joy is like sorrow compared to our shit, and we wish them nothing but a lifetime of estrangement." Then they played the saxophone part from Baker Street in perfect unison, and everyone in attendance had to admit they did seem pretty into it. This is Jonny Pape signing off, which makes less and less sense the more you think about it, so try not to. Yeah, don't look into any of this, really. The whole conceit is falling apart. I mean, these are not... He should be yelling headlines. His voice should be more like a Brooklyn kid, not some dude from the 20s, just generally. But just don't think about it, because I'm not changing the voice and I'm not changing the format. And this has been fun. I will see you guys next week for another Extree. And until then, I love you.